Hey guys, today I'm going to do a review on a product called the Safepacker. It's made by a company here in Phoenix, Arizona called Wilderness Tactical. And what this is, it's basically a case designed to carry a pistol. This one is sized for the Glock 17. Also, it would fit a 1911, a full-size version, the government model. And in fact, this case, what they name this is the government model. As far as size of it, go ahead and use this thing here. Overall length, really about probably 9.5 inches by about 7 and almost 3/4. So it's a little, again, it's bigger. It's made to accommodate, a full size, what they would call like a service pistol. So something like a 1911. This is a Glock 17, just so you have something as far as for size and reference. As you can tell, it's empty, and the magazines I'm going to be using for today's demonstration purposes will be empty as well. So again, this is designed for you to be able to have a firearm pretty much out in public. You need to know your local laws if you're carrying this. If some places may consider it to be concealed, other places would just consider it that you've got a pistol case and you could walk around with it because it's designed in theory as a case or as a holster. So that if you're walking around with it, it would be the same if you lived in an open carry type state, where if you had a firearm inside your holster and it was like a flap holster that covered up the weapon altogether. So, but again, just make sure you know the local laws in your area. If we ask ourselves a question, what does this thing do? What was it designed to do? How well does it do it? What are some of the cons about it? What are some of the things that I'd like to see the company who made this, some modifications that I'd like to see them do to improve it? Also, were there any modifications that I did to it to try and make it better? So what we'll do is in this review, we'll go ahead and we'll answer those questions. So first, again, like we said, it was designed to be if you look at their website, they say it's designed to be kind of several things. It's designed to be a holster. It's designed to be a multi-use case. And that's where I really think its true design is, in that it's a multi-use case. So let's start to go over what it is. It has a little quick release buckle here, Fast X, whatever you want to call them. It's got Velcro here so that you can adjust. You can kind of adjust that. You've got a little bit of play here. It's also on the Velcro. You've got I don't know if you can see, there's a small, that's a little better, little strap. And you could, in theory, clip maybe like a little flashlight or something on there. The top flap also has Velcro in it, which gives you a little pocket. The pocket is useful for things like maybe if you were going to have your identification in here, if you're a concealed carry permit holder, you might have that in here. You could have some extra money or things like that. You can't put really too much in this pocket that's going to be bulky, so it's not really practical. You could say, well, I could add a couple of magazines in here. But it's not really practical in that it starts to make this bulk up too much. So, even if I were to shove this in here, once you start to carry it, and you say in here, well, it doesn't look too bad, but once you get the firearm inside the case, it really starts to kind of bulge out. So again, the inside pocket is really only practical probably for things like identification, maybe a few extra bucks, pretty much stuff that's really flat. On the inside, of course, the flap folds back. On the inside, the main pouch here is held together with Velcro or hook and loop, whatever you want to call it, and it's actually really high quality Velcro. And the way that this is designed to work is you'll place an extra magazine down in here, and then the firearm sits on it like that. And then you just reseal the Velcro, put the flap back over, and there you have it. So again, you see once the firearm is in there, it does start to bulk out a little bit, and that's why you really couldn't have too much in here. It's designed to either be carried in the hand or with these little D-rings here, little plastic D-rings. You can attach a shoulder strap and wear it, or you can, although it's really on something this size, it's not that practical. This strap here comes undone, and you can, if you wanted to, put it through your belt loop that way. And one of the reasons that they designed it to come off like this is so that if you were out hiking or camping, you could take this actually off your belt without having to, as you would maybe with a traditional holster, without having to take your belt off. I had actually got to speak with the owner of the company, and what they originally designed this thing for was to do search and rescue, and what it allowed those people to do was to have a firearm with them that would be secure, and that would also remain clean and dry. And that's kind of another thing that this thing does really well, is if you are out hiking, if you are out camping, and you do have this, let's say, attached to your pack, or just even attached to your belt, or slung across the shoulder, however you're going to carry it, it is going to keep whatever you've got in, whatever firearm you've got in here, clean. It's going to keep the dust and dirt out of it. It's going to, if it's wet, it's going to keep that, so it does protect it. As far as drawing or accessing the weapon, I guess you would say, again, it's going to depend on how you're carrying it. And so what I'll do is, I think I'll go ahead and I'll demonstrate how you would do it if you had it in your hand, and then we'll shut the camera off and I'll reset it, and we'll do a few things as far as, maybe using it with a shoulder strap and then also using it on the belt. So what you're supposed to do with this is you keep the buckle side facing towards you if you are right-handed, and you would carry it in your left hand. And that kind of brings me up to one of the cons about this, is it is a little bit slower to access if you were going to use this as far as a form of concealed carry, and you were going to use this for self-protection. What you do is, if you saw that there was trouble, you would click the buckle. You're going to pull this back. You're going to slide your hand in. As you slide your hand in, it pulls that Velcro back. You get a good firing grip on the weapon, and then you withdraw it again with your finger off the trigger. And at this point, let's say the threat is in this direction, you could either bring it up here and kind of cradle it like that, and then acquire the target, or you could, in theory, just drop it, just let it fall off your hand, and then you can get a real good firing grip on the weapon. Of course, if you drop it, if you're carrying an extra magazine in here, you've dropped the extra magazine. Also, to do what they would call maybe a reload from here, it's not going to be too practical, because your extra magazine is buried, pretty much deep down in here. So again, that's maybe one of the cons, as far as if you had to do a reload in the middle of a gunfight, if you ever had the unfortunate luck to find yourself in that. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and shut the camera off. I'll get a strap on here, and then we'll show you how you can do like a shoulder carry, and then I'll also do the belt carry.